male ego. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really think there's much of a difference, but I don't know. To say that there's a male ego, then there's gonna have to be a female ego as well, too, right?
I think definitely they do have egos in a sense, but it's a difference, I believe.
Okay.
Is I think the thing with a man is an ego pops up because men don't want to be vulnerable and they don't want to communicate feelings. Women don't have a problem communicating their feelings about shit.
Okay.
If they're emotional about something, they're gonna tell you, right?
So you think an ego is the bad thing?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I said we spoke about this on another show.
Okay. Define ego again for me. Just to bring everybody up to speed.
I would say sort of, once your confidence gets to the level of arrogance, I think that's when ego pops in. Okay. Right. And I think a lot of the times ego is a defense mechanism or a shield for probably some of your shortcomings. Right. And instead of saying, I feel a way about this, or I feel this way about this, it kind of transcends into bravado, or a man acting as if they're bigger than thou, or that macho, that machismo, that pride.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Don't question me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what is ego? Like, ego is basically a person's self-esteem, self-importance. So in that aspect, if you let it get out of hand or it goes unchecked, it does kind of overshadow a lot of things, because you're pushing what you feel on other people, like an imposition. But like what you were getting back to saying earlier with the male ego and ego, in my opinion, it's two different things, because male ego is basically the recognition or attention base. So it's driven by that self-esteem. So it can be stronger or it can be weaker depending on who you're dealing with. Like, you got your alpha, you got your beta male. So basically your male ego is going to equate to that. What level?
I'm hearing self-esteem, but wouldn't the male ego deal with more like dominance? Like, if you could dominate a opponent, or you could dominate a field and keep your ego in check, isn't your ego healthy? I think your ego is healthy. I think having a
to me, I don't see ego as being a problem if you understand who you are.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I was saying. It's based off of recognition, right? So the male ego is a recognition-based thing. It's validation, right? So your ego is only going to be, it's kind of like your popularity level. So like, however you see yourself, however you project that to the world, and however people receive that and interpret that, is basically where your level is going to balance out at. The average between the two is where you're going to end up. So your male ego is only going to be as strong as what you show the world and what they take in.
Do you? Well, I guess this is like a rhetorical question. Do you think there's a such thing as an egoless man?
Oh yeah, yeah, a man that's just been completely beaten down. Like,
but it doesn't even have to be a man that's completely beat down. It could be someone that just they just don't have that bravado. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. They're. It doesn't have to be beat down. The way you say it, like beat down, is like
defeated.
I'm with Kyle. So I'm with Kyle on this one. Your value, right? How you value yourself. So if you have a low value, you don't have to be beaten down. It's just you don't see yourself as somebody that can stand out in the front. You want to stay in the background. So
like a beta.
Yeah, a beta, basically. So
a follower.
In that aspect, that doesn't make you weaker. You just know your place. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
So that's the next question. The next question is: Could you be a head of a household as a man and be a beta?
Well, again, that's dynamic.
Head of a household?
That's dynamic.
I'll answer the question for you. No, you can't.
Yeah, head of a household. Yeah.
I don't think
Question.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can rule it out, but you definitely are going to have a difficult time.
You're gonna have a shitty
Your
household.
partner can't carry the load.
Yeah, you're gonna have a shitty household. Like, yeah.
And I wouldn't put myself in a position where I would want my woman taking care of everything. We're by nature as men providers, protectors. So
I'll be seeing homeless niggas out there barking on chicks. Like even homeless niggas got chicks following them.
Hell yeah.
So,
exactly.
I mean,
So
someone gotta get that first.
it's your value.
With a dog in
It's
the
your
hand.
value.
You did.
Like, how do you value yourself? You know, you could be in some raggedy clothes, but see yourself as P. Diddy or Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You okay? You're speaking about confidence, right? Being like that. That's being confident in oneself, and it doesn't matter about what you have, or
That's your
how you look or
self-esteem.
whatever.
That's your self-importance.
That's your self-esteem. Yeah, exactly. So the question is there a difference between ego and self-esteem, though?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, speak on it then.
There is. Ego is an inflated sense of self. Self-esteem is knowledge of self. Ego is inflated, but that's not a problem if you can control it and use it. Like
I don't.
Ego is like Mike Tyson having that white lion, like having that white tiger. You know what I mean? That's the ego.
No,
he had that shit chained up in the yard.
Okay.
But he went out there, wrestled with it, took flicks with it, used it for what he used it for. But you know what I mean? Like kept it, if you could control it in business, if you could control it in your relationship, if you could control it being a father, if you could control it, sometimes you gotta put your foot down. And you can't necessarily put your foot down if you don't got no ego. If you don't feel like, this shit stops with me, when I say go, like sometimes you gotta just use your ego, put your fuck.
Are you using your ego though? Because all right, I'm sorry.
Sometimes you have to be a Haitian American and just fucking say.
Well, all right, you're saying that even in business.